Welcome to the malting hour, specifically the Malted Minis. Here we are in January 2023. I am joined, by the way, I'm Tony Golick, and I'm joined always with
Brandon Winninger.
I don't think we did this last time.
Yeah, I don't think we did.
No, that's all right. Everybody knows. If you're
Dan's here too.
Yeah, Dan's here too. If you're listening for the first time in 2023, this is a weird time to start because this is something new we're trying out. But this is the Malted Minis because in January we're taking some time off, so we decided in December let's record a whole bunch of episodes. And by a whole bunch of episodes, I mean 3 because we already had 2 ready to go. There's no Clark in January except for the Malties, and that was in the beginning of this month. So sorry, Clark, you're missing out on some fun beers. You guys, what's this beer that we're drinking this week on the Malted Minis, which sounds like a delicious cereal?
So from Open Gate Brewery, which is Guinness, an old-fashioned inspired ale.
You should have some. Wait. You should. We're on Zencaster. I mean, we really should. Maybe not like the depressing music, but do you have anything that's like? Now it's symphony wise.
It's literally all the depressing music.
Oh yeah, I don't do the. Let's not do that because it sounds like a sad beer.
Open Gate Brewery by Guinness, old-fashioned inspired ale. Ale aged in Kentucky bourbon barrels with orange and cherry. Brewed and bottled by Guinness Brewing Company, Baltimore, Maryland.
Wow, that seemed over the top for that type of description. So we
10.8% alcohol by volume.
And this is what is it? 11.2% or not 2%? 11.2 ounces bottle, right? Is that correct, Dan?
That's right. Fluid ounces to be precise.
So on a Christmas episode, Dan, you weren't a part of this. Around Christmas time, maybe after the final pour during the pandemic, we had a Bell's Old Fashioned inspired ale that me, Brandon, you weren't on the show yet, Dan. Me, Brandon, and Clark really, really liked. And I personally am a big fan of an old fashioned. Brandon, according from the text that I got from your wife, you two have your own ways of making old fashions. Apparently, we need to come by for a showdown.
I have my way. She has no way. So that's
that sounds like a February showdown that I'm looking forward to for my birthday.
But no, if you remember that night we were hanging out drinking, I used those old fashioned cubes.
Not really. Oh yeah, no, that I do remember. Those cubes were
in the Heaven Hill bourbon.
Oh my god. That was the last drink I didn't need to have. Dan, do you like old fashions?
That's actually my go-to.
Ooh, interesting. Why have we? Boy, we really need to hang out, all 4 of us. I'm throwing Clark in there. When we're not recording, and maybe just have a cocktail or 2 together, because an old fashioned is probably my go-to. Now, Jeff, my neighbor, is a big fan of the Manhattan. How do you guys feel about Manhattans?
I don't know if I've actually ever had a Manhattan. I don't usually go for cocktails, but if I do, I usually go old fashioned.
What about you, Brandon? You ever had a Manhattan?
I can't say that I have.
So they're quite similar, actually, and I can't, off the top of my head, I can't tell you.
That.
Yeah, I can't tell you what the difference is. There's like 1 or 2 ingredients that are different, but they are quite similar. So Guinness, as we know, in the last 3 or 4 years, we've had some random fun beers from the Guinness Brewery. I think we had a chocolate mint stout from them. I can't think of anything else that we've had from them, but at least we've talked about it. But they have done we've done a barrel aged stout from them. They've also done a gingerbread, and God, I can't think of anything else that they mass produced to put out. But it's kind of fun that Guinness has decided to branch out and do different types of beers, and this is definitely a different type of beer. Now, we cracked this open before we started recording. Dan, what did you say about this beer when you first smelled it?
It reminded me of butterscotch, which
yes,
I get like butterscotch and like movie theater buttered popcorn, like a mix sort of.
Ooh, there's a word for that.
I know that's an off flavor, diacetyl. I know.
Yeah, diacetyl. So do you think it's maybe the butterscotch more so, and maybe a little? I mean, I don't get diacetyl. I get butterscotch like candy because there's a sweetness behind that.
Yeah, it's not like the diacetyl. I don't know. I occasionally get a whiff of it, but it's not like the diacetyl butter popcorn. I don't know. I know that sounds weird.
Yeah, and just as a note, like we're not. And me specifically, I'm not going in there with the expectations that I'm going to love this beer.
I am.
I'm going in with the expectation that I want to love this beer. Because, dude, that Bell's Old Fashioned, literally, that's the bar for me right now.
They really need. I mean, the only reason why they released that in bottles was because they have their Bell's Fest around Christmas time, and it was during the pandemic, so they had it ready to go, so they bottled it. And I'm really bummed that they haven't continued to bottle that, because that is fantastic. That is
There
like,
has to be a liquor store somewhere that has a 4-pack sitting on the shelf somewhere.
we'll go to Capone's. Maybe Capone's has it sitting there still.
No shit,
Just
maybe.
waiting for someone like me to swoop in 2 years later to grab it. Brandon, what are you getting on the aroma on this?
Same thing. I'm getting like some butterscotch, a little bit, maybe like toffee-ish.
Okay.
But super, super sweet. So that like that butterscotch sweetness, and I was saying toffee, but caramel kind of coming through.
Yeah, I could see that, because I mean, toffee is just butter and brown sugar that's cooked. So toffee, I get from that as well. But like the caramel, for sure. I mean, toffee and caramel are cousins.
Yeah, and for me, it's a really pleasant aroma. I enjoy it immensely, so I can't say anything bad about it.
So
Aroma wise,
have you taken a sip?
oh yeah.
What are you
chugging
what are you
through
getting
this.
from it? Yeah, I know. It's what's the ABV on this again? It's 13, right?
10.2.
10.2. Okay. This is
It's
Thursday night we're recording.
So
Bad
it's
for my work.
boozier
Yeah.
than I thought it was going to be. But not in an unpleasant way, because I'm going in knowing this is supposed to be old fashioned inspired.
Yeah,
So
I
I'm not-
want there to be some sort of alcohol heat from a beer that is inspired by a cocktail.
Yeah, I'm not getting so much orange. Maybe slightly. What I am getting, it tastes a lot like maraschino cherry juice.
Yes.
Kind of on the back end.
You nail on the head right there. I am missing the orange. I do get barrel. I do get some caramel. And I do get this like maraschino cherry or like sweet cherry flavor. I'm missing the orange from it.
Yep.
And
Did we read the full description?
Jesus, Dan, you
Is there
are
a full
leaning into the
description?
mic, and you don't
Well,
need to
on-
lean into
on
the mic.
Untapped.
Back up from the
Oh.
mic, Dan. Back up from
On
the mic.
Untapped.
There we
Sorry.
go. Thank you. Jesus Christ.
So it says we start with an English barley wine aged in bourbon barrels for 6 months. Then finish the beer with sweet cherry and orange purees, which that annoys me, because wouldn't that just be orange juice? Anyways,
No.
the result is exactly
Wait.
Not if
Stop.
not if you got, like,
the
Dan-
peels there
everything in
too.
Yeah.
Dan, number one, continue to back off of your fucking microphone. Number two,
Or turn your game
There's a-
down.
yeah, there's a there's a difference between puree and juice.
Because you two are the only two clipping, like, consistently.
I am not clipping. I can see my sound waves.
So
It's
can I.
Dan. All right,
Is that
Dan,
better?
No, that's higher.
Yeah, other way.
Jesus
this?
Christ.
Yeah, better.
Dan's
Okay,
still
you can hear me
learning his
still?
mic. Yeah, there we go. That's great, Dan. So the difference between puree and juice is that, the puree is like the actual fruit, like mashed up, and there's juice
The
in
pulp
there.
and
So
stuff.
there's pulp.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's
What if
actual
it's-
like
what if it's
flesh
pulpy
in
orange
there.
juice?
There's just pulp from the orange juice. Do you think when you buy? Okay,
I quit.
This is why. Yeah, go ahead. Walk away for a second, Brandon, because Dan and I are not. I said on the last
Tony's
episode
rant.
that here's Tony's rant on Dan. I said Dan and I should have maybe made amends for this year. It's not going to happen. Brandon, you're getting what you want. Do you think that when there's pulp in orange juice, it's just giant chunks of oranges floating in there, Dan?
He
No.
is from Florida.
No, I'm just
Oh,
saying. My
sorry.
question is
Is that why you're so sensitive about oranges?
because
because
of
of Florida?
Florida field, home of the Rays? Anyways,
Well, then you know what? Then
Do
I
you think-
apologize. I'm
do
sorry.
you think they threw whole oranges with the peel and everything, and they just
No. I think I think pureed is just like the flesh and everything. Like it's mashed up, because you're gonna get flavor from the actual flesh itself.
So hypothetically, you buy
Okay.
Simply Orange, very extra pulp, whatever it's called.
Right.
Hey, Shotzi or Aggie.
Aggie.
What's up, Aggie?
And does that mean that the heavy pulp orange juice is actually puree and not juice? Is that what you're telling me?
No, it's part flesh. It's not like I'm not an orange juice expert. I don't know if we're gonna do intros to these episodes, but if it is, That's the intro right there. I feel like it's just parts of the orange that comes in from the pulp. It's just, it's like flakes of the skin. But like, when you macerate any fruit and it's just like there's mushed up fruit because there's oils in that flesh, and then there's juice in there as well. That's why I think they went this way. Regardless, they didn't hit it. Although I will say this, I didn't know it was a barley wine, so I think that's why we're getting that caramel and butterscotch and toffee. So that's very nice.
I also feel like that comes from like the 6 months in the barrel. I get that a lot in the short-term barrel aging.
Yeah, that's a good point. But you know what? As we're talking, and maybe it's just because I'm putting orange juice and pulp and just fucking smashed up oranges, I'm kind of getting it in the aftertaste, and I just burped, and there's kind of like a citrusy taste to it. Brandon just burped. Brandon, did you get that as well?
There is a little bit.
Looks like baby food, but this is orange puree when you Google it.
What are you talking about when you Google what? Orange puree?
Yes.
That's not what's in orange juice, Dan.
No, I know. That's what's in this.
No, let's use
right,
saying
correct.
in general. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure we're not on the. I think we need to have a separate like juicing hour with. That's like working out with steroids. The juicing hour with Dan and Tony. They're pumping iron and shooting steroids. Tony and Dan are getting ripped so they can box at the end of the year. Who's gonna win? Yeah, there is like. Now that we've talked about it, and maybe that's just like, a mental thing since we've been, arguing about what pulp and puree is. There is like a citrus aftertaste though.
Yes, slightly.
Dan, do you get that at all? I know you're going in for like the big whiff and smell. The whiff is like the smell is caramel candied. I guess I do kind of get that buttery popcorn, but not in a bad way. It's not like, oh, there's this off aroma and there's like an off flavor to this.
This is one that like for example, in the last episode we talked about that Rocky's Revenge, that barrel aged brown ale. I got that buttered popcorn off of that too, and I wonder if it's just like a barrel character that comes off on short term aging. I don't know, but it's sort of that same like butteriness that I get in that other beer. It's
we should do. There is a test you can buy. I think it's like $100 to do off flavors. We should
because
do
some people
that.
Can't even taste diacetyl.
I can, because you know why I can taste diacetyl?
Didn't we have a beer together?
I'm sorry?
Didn't we have a beer together and I was like, I taste diacetyl?
Maybe. But the reason why I can taste diacetyl, again, this is 2 episodes in a row. My vaping, I go very heavy on custard, and there is diacetyl in that, which is great because it's coating my lungs. It's called popcorn lung, and eventually I will die from it, so I need to stop vaping.
That happens with people who work in popcorn factories.
Exactly. So that's a big downer for everybody. I'm slowly killing myself with beer and diacetyl. But I am like, I definitely can taste diacetyl. So the aroma, when you said that, I was like, no, I kind of get like butterscotch. But now going back in there after putting in my mind that there is orange puree in here, I don't know if it like off balance it or whatever, or like set it off. But like now the aftertaste is kind of citrusy. There's that cherry on the taste with a little bit of barley wine and barrel and the sweetness and caramel. But the aroma is that butterscotch and maybe a little bit of butter, maybe a little diacetyl.
Yeah. To me, it's like,
but more butterscotch though. It is more butterscotch overall.
Yeah.
I would agree.
More butterscotch for sure. But to me, it's like you have like those cherries in a jar, like the syrup, and you're like taking a sip of the
maraschino cherries.
Like maraschino cherry, or those like really good Luxardo cherries.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I'm just talking. It's like that, like
you're going maraschino cherries,
cherry,
where it's like bright red.
Yeah, I guess. But I'm just saying, I don't get like.
Don't say like you get. Cause there's a difference between maraschino cherries and Luxardo cherries.
No, that's fine. I'm just saying. Like,
what are you using in your old fashions? Are you using Luxardo?
I mean, I don't make them myself.
This is going to be a rant number 2. I swear to God, Dan.
No, I'm just saying, like, if you have like, so you think about like New Glarus, Wisconsin Belgian red that has cherry.
Fantastic.
I'm just saying,
that's like a cherry Jolly Rancher.
It's a way different cherry. I'm just trying to get that point across.
Yeah. No, you're right. No. And I was just joking around about between Luxardo and maraschino. But I mean, they are like 2 different cherries. Like Luxardo cherries are like the dark cherries that Aggie, hello, welcome. It's like a dark cherry, and there's like a dark cherry juice, and it's very good. I think there might be some alcohol in there, but maraschino cherries are, you put on your
So you
fucking
put on like
sundae.
a Sunday or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. Luxardo cherries, though, you guys, I mean, this summer, come on by. We'll do old fashions at my house. We'll do Luxardo cherries. It's fantastic. The dark,
All right.
dark cherry. It's very
I'm
good. But
proposing something here.
okay, here it is.
I've
from
never
Dan.
had anybody's old fashions. Becca, Tony, Brandon, blind tasting for me.
I'm pretty sure Clark also does old fashions as well.
So yeah, me and Clark, blind tasting.
So maybe we do okay. So here we go.
You can make it an episode.
Now we're starting this. We're doing the malted minis. I think we could do a whole old fashioned episode. I think that'd be a good way to do it. And then maybe we just sneak in Shalonda to just throw in her old fashioned where she throws in fucking Revolution's beer. Yeah, that's right, Shalonda. I'm calling you out. Right now.
If they did like an orange or a cherry beer, Death by Cherry.
Ooh.
There is Death by Cherry.
I know
There's
there's
a,
Death by
but
Cherry. I was
I
saying,
don't want
which
to.
one,
Yeah, I think if anything, it would be a Freedom beer that would be put into that.
Mhm.
It's got to be. It's got to be a Freedom
Yeah.
beer that goes into that.
Freedom of cherries.
Overall, let's do our roundup here. Dan, I'm gonna start with you. We're gonna go with 5 cherries here. Okay, Dan, 5 cherries. Give your overall rating. What you like about it. What you don't like about it, and then give it its send off.
All right, so hey,
Aggie is last.
Aggie. Yeah, she is mad. So I'm trying to think. I don't. This isn't my jam. It's not my style.
Okay,
I don't.
fair enough.
I don't really get old fashioned when I'm drinking it. To be completely honest, it just kind of tastes like a sweeter butterscotchy with a little bit of cherry to me. That's kind of what I'm getting out of it. I'll give it a 3 because I don't want to be harsh to it. I just don't think it's for me.
3 cherries. I like
yeah,
it.
I'll do 3 cherries.
I think that's fair enough.
Yeah, it's just not my jam.
I get it. And
I don't dig the like super buttery that I get here and there.
Yeah, I can see that. Brandon, what about you, man? We're going 5 cherries. What's your overall rating on this one?
I'm kind of in the same boat, man. 3 was my number, because I'm more focused on that buttery aspect, and that's becoming more and more prominent as I drink through this, and I can't get past that. Yeah, it's. And in my mind, again, I don't have it here for comparison. It's nowhere near that Bell's beer. So yeah, I'm going with 3.
I will say this, and thank you, by the way. Overall, I think it's good barley wine. I think it's a good barrel-aged barley wine. If they said this was a barrel-aged barley wine with a hint of cherry, I would probably rate it a little bit higher. The butterscotch was nice up front in the aroma, and the booziness is nice also because it feels. Thank you, Aggie. It feels like you are drinking an old fashioned. I wouldn't kick this beer out of bed. If somebody offered and said, "Hey, I got this. Do you want to have some?" I'm like, yeah, sure. It's not a terrible beer, but just like Brandon, based off of the Bell's old fashioned and enjoying old fashions myself, I'm with you guys on the 3. It's not bad. It's not a bad beer by any means.
It's too sweet for me, really. I mean, I don't think I said that earlier, but it's a little too. I know they say it's sweet cherry they added to it.
But I mean, a barley wine is also sweet. You don't get many, dry barley
Right.
wines. Like barley wines are sweet,
No,
and a barrel aged. Like,
I mean,
if this was, if I'll tell you this, if this was just marketed as a barrel aged barley wine, I'd probably go closer to like a 3.75 or a 4 because.
what do you give it? What do you give in like Straight Jacket then? Because Straight Jacket's way better than this in a barley wine to me.
Straight Jacket's like a 4.75.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, Straight Jacket's
I just want to
so
make sure
good.
we were on the same.
No, this like if this was just like barrel aged barley wine from Guinness specifically, just because it's Guinness, that's like a 4, like a 4 out of 5 right there. And that's
But
barrels.
it still has
not cherries.
still has like the butterscotchy buttery.
The aroma, like it's, and I think because we talked about the diacetyl, I was drawn into that more, and that's why
Suggestion.
thank you.
That's what I was looking for. The power of suggestion. I couldn't think of it. Thank you, Dan.
Yeah, I think the power suggestion made that happen for me. Shut up, dude. But I still get like a butterscotch candy, like a Werther's Original off the aroma on that. Overall, there is like a slight orange citrus aftertaste on the sips that I'm having.
Dying.
No, I'm not. Will I finish this tonight because we have to do one more? Probably not, because it's so high in alcohol. If we were just doing this tonight, yeah, I'd probably finish this. If I saw it again, would I buy it? I don't know. I don't think so. I would probably lean more towards trying the gingerbread, because I feel like gingerbread's a fun one to do, and maybe if they decide to do it again. Is that a barley
wine also? I can look it up.
I'm not sure. But we didn't do that. We did the chocolate mint. Chocolate mint was fun. I liked it more than Brandon and Clark did, which is funny because I'm more of a chocolate mint guy, but you guys weren't getting much of the chocolate mint combination there. Yeah. I mean, it's no Goose Island Shamrock Stout that you still have sitting in your refrigerator, Brandon.
I almost brought it to that bottle share. When I was like,
sounds like that might be our St. Patrick's Day episode beer.
Dude, 2 years in a row.
Yeah, we got
so that gingerbread boy is a stout.
Ooh, okay.
All right. Well,
ginger,
yeah. So I can get behind that.
Cinnamon, nutmeg, and aged in barrels.
I can dig that.
You know what this kind of reminds me of? A poorly made old fashioned that's watered down.
Yeah, a little bit.
The ice cube melted.
The ice cube is melted, and now it's like room temperature, and I'm not going to finish it. Sorry, Guinness. That's a 3.
The giant sphere that they put in there is now melted.
Hey, man, I had a giant sphere on Christmas Day, and that got me through 3 drinks, and it was fantastic.
I will say, though, on the Guinness note, I am excited about their Chicago location.
Yeah, looking forward to that as well.
Chicago location?
Yeah. I still want to try their...
Is it the old Ballast Point or something like that? Why do I think I've heard that?
No, and I don't think it is, which is shocking to me. I think they're building like a whole new complex, and it's like not just like it's a brew pub. It's like a brewery.
Wait, didn't we say we were going to take the old Ballast Point area and make it the Malting Hour Brewery?
Yeah, as we should. Still,
that's what I thought. Okay. Anyways, Dan,
I have to say something.
Okay.
Great.
Old fashioned calls for sugar. Manhattan employs sweet vermouth.
Yes.
So yeah, that was good. Because Jeff, my neighbor, loves Manhattan, and that's why I have sweet vermouth. But I can also do an old fashioned.
I might really like a Manhattan. I like the herbal, like herbaceous.
Manhattans are good, man. Manhattans are good. There's, you know what? Maybe that's an episode we should do. The Manhattan Old Fashioned episode. That will come under the banner of the Malted Minis, which we are introducing this year of 2023 because, well, we are not drinking a whole bunch in January and we need a fucking rest. I mean, episode 101 just came out, a couple weeks ago. Mm-hmm. It was great. All right. Anyways, Dan, hey, man, I can't wait to drink some old fashions and Manhattans with you.
Yeah. And I can't wait to hang out outside the podcast one day when you're able to.
I don't know about all that. Brandon, I love you, buddy.
Love you too, man.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening. I don't have anything else. This has been The Malting Hour. Be sure to follow us on all social media by searching The Malting Hour and at themaltinghour.com. You can also follow us individually on social media. Brandon can be found on Instagram as BMDub81, on Twitter, BDub81, and on Untappd as BDubDrinksBeer. Tony can be found on Instagram and Untappd under Ace of Help Chicago, on Twitter, The Ace of Help Chicago. Clark can be found as Clarkowski on all 3. Dan can be found on Instagram as hip__hops and hip hops on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe, like, and rate the show on your preferred podcast listening platform. Until next time, cheers from all of us at The Malting Hour.